Hello there, everybody, and welcome to Harrah's Hoosier Park. Michael Chamberlain and Jacob Reinheimer here in the Dan Patch studio with the Road to the Derby Challenge. And Jacob, we have 3 races on the schedule for the contest this week as we wrap things up. And this one is a very traditional Derby prep, the Grade 2 Wood Memorial at Aqueduct at 1 1/8 miles.
Going from coast to coast. We just did the Santa Anita Derby. Now we're going over to the East Coast, going to Aqueduct. Full field of 13. I think this is a very, very competitive bunch. Maybe not quite the name recognition that you're going to see in the other 2 Derby prep races we're going to talk about for the Road to the Derby contest, but I think a very, very competitive field of 13 here.
And let's take a look at that field of 13 as they have a Deterministic as the 7-5 morning line favorite in here for trainer Christophe Clement, who amazingly enough, with could possibly be a Hall of Fame career when they announce the Hall of Fame inductees later on this year, he has never had a horse start in the Derby. I know he's a turf specialist, but this would be his first ever Derby runner. Second choice on the morning line is number 9, Tuscan Sky, 4-1 for trainer Todd Pletcher and jockey Manny Franco. And the third choice is the horse down on the rail, number 1, Resilience, 6-1, Johnny Velasquez riding for Bill Mott. As you see that field of 13, as we'll take a look now at the picks. And Jacob, I tried like the Dickens to beat Deterministic at that 7-5 price, and I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, I couldn't get around him. I think Clement has a pretty good chance to get that Derby starter in this. He was a very impressive winner in that Gotham, the first New York prep that we saw here on the Road to the Derby. Just kind of stalked the pace throughout, and then kind of overpowered him in the stretch. Won by 2 lengths, edge clear in the lane. That after just one maiden at Saratoga last August. So there's quite a bit of a layoff between starts there. Couldn't have looked any better in the Gotham, and he really couldn't have looked much better in that maiden debut at Saratoga. Handled the step up in distance from 7 furlongs to 1 mile, no problem. Going to add another 1/8 of a mile here. That is probably the one question you can maybe bring up here in this spot. But Joel Rosario, an experienced jockey who knows how to get the job done. I don't think there's much to not like about Deterministic in the spot.
You mentioned the layoff, and the layoff is the thing that really stood out to me with this horse in this particular spot, because you had that one start in August and then nothing for 7 months, coming back at the beginning of March, winning the Grade 3 Gotham as he did. You're not supposed to do that off just one start as a 2-year-old and then a 7-month break. So that is really made that race all the more impressive. And I think this horse, it's got a decent sire with Liam's Map, but the bottom side is where the issue is, because it's out of a Speightstown mare. Speightstown, a Breeders' Cup Sprint winner. So you have to wonder if the distances they keep getting further might be the question. But he certainly didn't show any worse for wear at the mile of the Gotham back on March 2nd. But now we're going 1 mile and an 1/8, as you mentioned. It's a 2-turn race. This is the difference now. A 2-turn race going as opposed to the mile at Aqueduct, which is a 1-turn race. So he's going to have to go 2 turns for the first time, which I think is where push is going to come to shove here. I do think he's the best horse in the race. I did pick him on top, but that's the one little asterisk I might put on this.
We each agreed on our second horse underneath Deterministic off that 7-5 favorite. We each go to an 8-1 price underneath, that being number 2, El Grande O. Dylan Davis aboard here for trainer Linda Rice. I think we both selected him towards the top in the Gotham. Didn't do too much wrong. He kind of pushed the pace all the way throughout that Gotham. Just got caught in the lane by Deterministic. Ends up fading to third. That after a runner-up finish in the Grade 3 Withers in February over there at Aqueduct. So he's very familiar with the track, very familiar with the surface. That Withers was also at that 1 1/8 distance, which is something I like here as well. Over a muddy going. Both prep races over there in New York have been over sloppy going, so he's very familiar with the surface. Trainer Linda Rice in New York, she's a very, very dominant trainer, high percentage trainer, winning right now at a 17% clip. Getting 8-1 on the morning line. I think if you're going to go with Deterministic on top, that's a nice little price right behind him.
Now, I did not pick this horse, but I want to make this point in this race. Kendrick Carmouche has been the rider for El Grande O in all these races leading up in 2024. Kendrick Carmouche is going to ride the 5-horse Protective in here. 30-1 on the morning line for trainer Todd Pletcher. How often do you get 30-1 on Todd Pletcher? But the horse is still a maiden after 2 starts, was second in the first race at Saratoga, and then came back at Tampa in March and finished third and was DQ'd to 4th there. I didn't pick the horse, but I think if you're looking for a real bomb in this race, that might be the one to go to, because just those circumstances of Carmouche taking off to ride the Pletcher horse and the odds just really is one to keep an eye on. We did differ on the third horse. I took the 9 Tuscan Sky. Vino Rosso, a Breeders' Cup Classic winner, is the sire of this Todd Pletcher trainee. I mentioned the second choice on the morning line. Undefeated after 2 starts. Win at Aqueduct, a win at the Fairgrounds, and a bull at work on March 30th. I think a deserving second choice here.
Yeah, I certainly can't argue with that one. Todd Pletcher sends this one in, and he'll be ready to go. I go right next door for my third selection with number 8, Elysian Meadows. Jose Lascano is aboard here. Coming out of that Sam F. Davis at Tampa Bay Downs, where he finished 4th behind No More Time in Agate Road, I think that was a really good effort. He got away towards the back end of the pack, had to pass a lot of horses, and was gaining late. Wasn't going to get to that top trio in that spot, but I like that and the fact that he has 2 wins over the Aqueduct surface prior to going down to the Sam F. Davis. So, like I said, I think this is one where deterministic is much the best. I'm just looking for prices to put underneath. I have to go with 15 to 1 Elysian Meadows third there.
We did agree on the 4th horse also with the 13 Uncle Heavy, 8 to 1 on the morning line for trainer Robert Reed Jr. The winner of the Grade 3 Withers over the track at Aqueduct at the 1.125 mile distance, which is something that is definitely worth considering. Also won around 2 turns at Parks in late December. The one thing here I don't think is going to be a problem is the post position. This horse has a deep closing style, so if this horse can get any kind of position out of the gate, it's mid-pack, maybe just a little bit off, I think this horse is going to come running late and definitely get up to be a part of it.
Yeah, and this was a case where he nosed out El Grande O in that Withers by a nose there in that spot. So I thought if you like El Grande O, you have to like Uncle Heavy in this situation, even with the post position. Like you said, this horse is a closer anyway. I don't think that's going to change his tactics at all. So like I said, I thought if you like El Grande O, you have to like Uncle Heavy as well.
So as we take a look at the picks for the Grade 2 Wood Memorial, Jacob has it 4-2-8-13. I have it 4-2-9-13. And don't ignore that 5 horse in here, Protective, with Kendrick Carmouche riding for Todd Pletcher. I may have a couple of bucks on that one on Saturday. You never know. Speaking of Saturday, of course, we're live racing now here at Harrah's Hoosier Park, Wednesday through Saturday until the end of June. And we'll go to Tuesday through Saturday for the bulk of the summer. So looking forward to having quite a lot of great live racing action. Why don't you come and join us and be sure to be here for the contest on Saturday. It wraps up Saturday, the Road to the Derby Challenge, as we have wrapped up our contest, and we are now on this definitely close to the Derby. We're about a month away, so we're getting close. For Jacob Reinheimer, I'm Michael Chamberlain, wishing the best of luck to you all.